Hello, people. Can you hear me? I am bored now, or the cinema professor if you listen to my Beyond Radio show. Or Keith, you can just call me Keith. Welcome to this first ever live chat. And sorry about the picture quality, I'll have to work on that for future shows. So hopefully this will be a regular thing. And the purpose of this one, I think, really is just to give updates, mostly to give sort of channel updates for the YouTube channel, maybe also promote some stuff for my radio show. I host a weekly show on Beyond Radio in Lancaster, and I talk about films on it. I review films and also talk about film in genre each week, and sometimes do special. Like this past week I did an Oscar special with predictions and also my alternative Oscars. I did coming up later I will do a special review of a film called Beverly, Linn, which came out at the end of last year. It's an indie film that you can all find on Netflix. And I'll talk a bit about that because I will sort of use these streams or one-off videos to review sort of random films. So I'm relaxed. I'm really waiting for any of you to log on, and we can have a chat about films or whatever you want to say. I mean, you guys can ask me questions about anything, doesn't have to be about films. So just to give people a bit of time, I will talk generally. I will say then I made a start on the Buffy review, so the Buffy the Vampire Slayer season 1. Something I plan on doing more of reviewing the whole show. And I think a lot of the content will be that sort of thing, will be reviews of cult TV shows and related things like that. I will obviously do films as well, random film reviews. I will probably do film series, for example, so things like the Halloween series. Every film in that franchise I will probably review from start to finish. And I will also take suggestions. I mean, as the channel grows and hopefully becomes bigger and more people involved, I will take suggestions about things I can review. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. But I mean, obviously at the moment it's very early stages. I will try and record something else soon and see how it goes. So as I said, in case you didn't, and I'm talking to myself here, I guess, but this past week on Beyond Radio on Thursday night, hello, got the first person. Welcome to the stream. Can you hear me okay? Yes, very dodgy. I know. I really need a shave, but thank you for showing up. Thank you. And my last name's Beard, which is even more ironic, but thank you for showing up. So I was just talking about my radio show. I don't know if you listen to my radio show on a Thursday night. But yeah, this past week I did alternative Oscars. It's a movie. It's on Netflix. It's like an independent sort of comedy. It's got Aubrey Plaza, who was in Parks and Recreation and been in a bunch of indie films. So I thought I'd just do a random sort of review of that, catching up on the 2018 film. So how are you tonight? With a bit of luck, there will be a couple more perhaps, but it's good to have one person on at least. And this will be a regular thing. So yeah, I did the Oscar show on Thursday, so I made predictions on the top categories and then gave my own nominations, so alternative. So for example, I gave Chloe Grace Moretz and my fantasy award, let's say, for lead actress for the Miseducation of Cameron Post, which was a really amazing and powerful film. And this week, I'm going to be returning to Star Wars. Star Trek, schoolboy era, Star Trek, because every week on my show I do a genre, and I've been working my way through the sci-fi genre, and I'm up to looking at Star Trek. Basically, I've been working my way through the films and discussing them. Any favourite Star Trek films? The Voyage Home is mine personally. I really, that's a lot of fun and really good effects, and it's generally just a blast. Some really good jokes and some great character moments. It's a really charming film, The Voyage Home, and it is my favourite Star Trek film. So yeah, I'll be talking more about Star Trek on Thursday night's show, 8 p.m. on Beyond Radio. And yeah, I will also have some film reviews. I'll be talking about Alita, Battle Angel, which I don't know if you've seen. I'll also be talking about The Kid'll Be King, the new Joe Cornish film. And I will also be talking about the new Ingmar Bergman documentary based on him, based on 1 year in his life, one particular year, which is 1957. Saw that this past week, which was really fascinating. So I'll be reviewing that next Thursday on the show, and some other content as well. I'm not quite sure what yet, but I generally promote the local cinema and play a bit of music. So yeah, if you've not heard the show before, then be sure to tune in if you can do. It's 8 p.m. UK time, and what else should I say? And Beyond Radio, which you can find online and listen live. So yeah, if you have any thoughts, then let me know. And in future shows, I'll be talking about obviously Star Wars, which I haven't covered yet. I'll be looking at the more arty sort of science fiction films like Stalker, for example, and the Tchaikovsky films, and various bits and pieces. It's such a broad genre. So again, if you have any questions, then pose them here. Any suggestions? This is also to just keep the channel updated. So I did one review of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, which you can find on the channel, and I'll do another one pretty soon. So yeah, thank you for coming. I guess I'll talk a bit about Beverly Love Linn, which is on Netflix if you want to watch it. And it's a film with Aubrey Plaza. As I said, she plays a woman who's unhappy in her marriage. There's a character, the title character, Beverly Love Linn, who's played by Craig Robinson, who you might have seen in The American Office, and also he was in the Hot Tub Time Machine films. And he's like some sort of obscure sort of poet, and he's been in seclusion. He makes very rare appearances, but he is appearing at this one hotel, this particular venue, And so the Aubrey Plaza character decides, I must find him, I must confront him, and the film sort of keeps it quite strewn what the secret is. And so she hits the roads. I mean, she's in sort of a loveless marriage, and so they're having a rift. So she sort of hits the road with someone else who knows her current partner, and there's sort of a subplot with some money there when he runs off with some money that her partner belongs to him essentially, although there's a crooked sort of plot involved. So then you get the other side of the plot, which is a chase basically, and that's kind of the plot. The second half is mostly set at the hotel, and this sort of odd relationship forming between her and this other guy. He's played by Jermaine Clement of Flight of the Conchords fame. Who's been popping up in quite a few films. So it's not a bad film. It's a solid kind of 3-star film, I'd say. It's one of those films where it has this really quirky, offbeat sense of humour. And I think it's one of those, it just treads a fine line between being a bit too indulgent and, yeah, kind of being wacky and strange in an appealing sort of way. And I think some scenes really nails that, but maybe not enough. I think the second half of the film is the better half. I think I was sort of won over by the relationship. And there's some good physical comedy. I mean, Craig Robinson, I think, is very good in it. I think because basically the Beverly Linn character doesn't say a great deal. He makes these odd noises throughout the film. And there's some really good visual and physical moments, like when he goes into the swimming pool in the hotel outside and just wears this really flamboyant sort of swimming costume, and it's a really funny scene. It's one of those scenes you can't explain exactly why, but it does connect, and he's very good, actually, very subtle. I think he's one of these actors. He's known for comedy, and this is a comedy, but I think he manages to bring a humanity to it as well, a strange sort of humanity. So the stuff in the hotel in the second half is the highlight. There's a lot of other stuff going on, some of which didn't appeal, some of it felt like the comedy was being too forced. And yeah, so the side of the plot with the husband didn't really interest me too much. Just didn't find it that funny at times. A bit too on the nose, a bit maybe crude at times. I'd say it's worth watching. It wasn't as good as I was hoping for. But that's, yeah, Beverly Linn. And that's came out at the end of 2018, so that's why I thought I would review that. But yeah, it's on Netflix if you want to watch. Hello, I think we might have another person. Anyone? So have you guys seen any good films this week? Let me know in the comments. We'll see how this stream goes. It obviously might be quite a short one, but I'll obviously try and build up an audience over time. Tonight, actually, another thing, I've been watching a program on BBC4, which is about film music, about composers, which pretty much looks at the history. It goes right the way back to when you first had music for film, and it looks at all the innovations and the different stages. So that's something I recommend checking out. It'll be on the iPlayer, so you'll be able to catch up with it on there. But yeah, I thought it was really interesting, and yeah, it gave quite good depth. So yeah, if you get a chance, I'd say catch up with that. And any questions? If you have a question, just post it in the comments, and I will respond to it. But just me posting there, just to let people know. So, anyone watching the Oscars this weekend? Any thoughts on? Hello, Moo Moo. How's it going? How are you tonight? Thank you for joining. So I just reviewed Beverly, Love, Linn, An Evening with Beverly, Love, Linn, which is a film which can be found on Netflix. Yeah, kind of a quirky, oddball sort of comedy. It's all right. It's average, but it's probably worth checking out. Wasn't quite as good as I was hoping, but sort of film it might strike me a different way on the second viewing. And really, this is just an update for the channel, this stream, and a bit of promotion in a way for my radio show. So how are you, Moo Moo? Have you seen any films this week? Yes, I've seen quite a few Chloe Grace Moretz films. She's been in a ridiculous amount considering her age. She's been in something like 50 films. And I think some I've seen without realizing. I saw her in the Carrie remake actually a few weeks ago, and that was better than you would think considering it's a remake of a classic. And I thought she was pretty good in that. I think she's better in some things than others, but yeah, she's normally very watchable. I think she normally has a presence to her, and I think she's very good at disappearing into a role too. I think she's good at, like, yeah, sort of coming across as a regular sort of teen young person type character. And I thought, as I said on Thursday, if you listened, I thought her performance in The Miseducation of Cameron Post was, yeah, simply stunning. it was, yeah, really perfect throughout the film. She really built the performance over the film. So yeah, it's a shame that performance hasn't been nominated at the Oscars. But yeah, I think maybe the film proved a bit too edgy for them. I think that might be one reason. What about you? Have you seen her in anything else? Okay. Have you seen the original Carrie? Sorry. I'll give you a bit more notice of these streams next time. Obviously, I only did it today. It's just a thought I have because I take part in a similar stream for one of the channels I follow. Yes, with Sissy Spacek. It's very good film from the 70s, and the book's good as well. I've read the book, which was, I think, Stephen King's first book. So, what other films have you seen recently, Moo Moo? And will you be keeping up with the Oscars this weekend? Is another question. So, again, I'll just say if anyone has any thoughts and any suggestions for the channel for anything I can review or any topics you want discussing, and you can do the same for the radio show. If you have any like special programs you think I can discuss a certain director or a certain film, any ideas? I mean, so I'm on sci-fi at the moment, and after sci-fi, I think it's thriller. So that's another big meaty genre, and then it will be the war movie, which I'm not so enthusiastic about. But hey, I have to do it. There'll be some interesting stuff in there, and then I'm going to move on to like subgenres like the teen movie, for example, and yeah, national cinema, and then we'll be doing things like directors, and we'll be doing more lists as well. We'll be doing like a sci-fi list, me and Ray, like we did with comedy. So plenty of stuff coming up. Moo Moo, if that's you back on, I was just asking what films you've seen recently over the last week. Will you be keeping up with the Oscars this weekend? And any suggestions you have or questions, really. I've sort of taken the chance because I normally wind down and normally there's some foodage before now. Some Pop Tarts is my sort of choice. So yeah, I'm maybe not quite on form, but we'll see how it goes. It'll probably be a short one since there's obviously not many of you, but yeah, I'll stay on for a bit longer because I know some other people were going to try and make it. But if not, no worries. I'll probably stick this one online, maybe. Depends what else happens. I mean, if we get more questions, then it'll be worth sticking up. If not, maybe not. But next time I will give you guys a bit more notice. This is just a bit of an experiment, really. So yeah, any more questions? Seen any films this week? Or you can discuss anything. It doesn't have to be film related. It can be TV. Just about anything, politics or stuff that's happening. Or if you want to ask me any opinions on anything or add any comments, feel free. As long as you keep it mostly friendly, quick, so that sort of thing. But yeah, we can discuss almost anything up to a point. So this will be a regular thing. I might do another one next week. I might do another mini review and maybe just a quick update of what's coming up on that show. But we'll see. I might also do like videos on YouTube as well. Not YouTube, I am on YouTube. I mean on Facebook. I might do videos on there as well, which would be an idea. So yeah. I know, speaking of Moretz, I know she was in I think the remake to Let the Right One In, the American remake. But I've not seen that. I heard it was pretty good. Obviously, feels a bit pointless because the Swedish version is so perfect, really. But yeah, I'm sure it's pretty good. Sure, it's worth a watch. And she's normally good, so I know she was in that. But as I said, she's been in many, many films. Is there any films seen this week? Any opinions on the Oscars? Any questions in general? Seem to have, well, one on now. Is there any questions? Seen any films this week? I think I might be doing a Buffy review tonight as well. Might record that to go up on the channel, so that'll be something. At the moment, I'm kind of just doing reviews like this just while I get used to the technology and setting things up properly, and then hopefully the videos will be have a bit more to them, maybe the odd clip in them, play around a bit more. So yeah, should be more content soon. I'll be busy at it, hopefully. So any plans for the weekend, any of you? Any suggestions for the channel? Anything you want me to review? Or any topics you want me to cover? Just speak up, just let me know. Ask anything, ask any questions. I think for the next stream, or next video, if I'm gonna do a random film review, I might do a classic or something, a cult favourite or something, like a science fiction film or a classic horror, maybe a cheesy 80s horror, something like that. I think that might be quite fun to do, and we can also watch films together at some point, like we can be watching at the same time, and you guys can comment in the comments there, and I can obviously give my reactions here. So if you're up for that, let me know, but we'll see how it goes. This is obviously the first one and a bit of an experiment, but that's something we could do. We could find like a Netflix film. Obviously, most people have Netflix, or maybe a film which is available on YouTube, and we can watch at the same time and discuss it. But we'll see how it goes, and this is obviously a first stream. So I'll give this a few more minutes and then maybe round it up, because obviously this is a first time and it's a slow one, and not many of you are on, but that's fine. But yeah, first time thing, so it's not to worry, and there'll be more content coming on the channel soon. So I'll probably, sorry, throat's going, probably give this like another 2 to 3 minutes if anyone wants to contact, give me a question, or yeah, make a comment about something. That'll be fun. Hello, Troy. How are you? Thank you for joining the stream. Any plans for the weekend, Troy? Have you watched any films over the last week? I was just reviewing Beverly, Linn earlier, an evening with, which is a Netflix film, which is kind of a quirky sort of oddball comedy. Aubrey Plaza's in it. It's not bad. It's decent. It's worth checking out if you've got Netflix. Probably wouldn't go out of my way to see it otherwise, but it's a solid 6.5 if you like. But yeah, I'm okay, thanks. Not too bad. Yeah, I don't really have any plans particularly. I might listen to the Oscar coverage on Sunday evening. I don't know, have a clean up. I might. Not sure. Might watch a film tomorrow night. Might watch a DVD. Sort of saving some money. So Troy, how did you hear about the channel? Did you just come across this? Are you a subscriber? Okay. Not sure. So I have a radio show which is on a Thursday night on Beyond Radio, which is a film show. So I talk about film history and genre. At the moment, I'm looking at science fiction and I'm working my way through the whole genre. Mostly, some talking about Star Trek at the moment. And I had an Oscar special the other night. And I also review new films as well. So it's a mixture. And I tend to promote local events. So it's 8 p.m. in the UK time, and it's on Beyond Radio, which is a Lancashire-based community station. But you can also find it online and listen live if you're outside that area. It runs as far as Blackpool, but yeah, if you're into film and you're interested in that sort of stuff, then have a listen. You can find it online. In fact, if you just give me a minute, I'll just post the link. So that is the link to the radio station which I present on a Thursday. If anyone doesn't know about it and wants to check it out, as I said, my show is on a Thursday at 8 p.m. So there's that, but there's also this YouTube channel which I've recently started, and I plan on reviewing. Yes. Oh, sorry, no, that's a radio station which I present on. So I do a film show on a Thursday night, and I just thought I'd give you the link because you can listen live Thursday, 8 p.m. UK time, as I said. Are you based in the UK or outside? America, I'm guessing, because of the name Troy. Okay, cool. So yeah, if you want to listen in on a Thursday, it'll be 8 here, so it's about 5 maybe your time, 4, 5, something like that. So if you're into film, then take a listen. Have you seen any good films lately? Okay, there's the link to my YouTube channel, which I assumed you might be on because you were taking part. But anyway, there's the thing. Okay, yeah, cool. If you can check it out, that would be great. But if not, don't worry. Yeah, thank you. Thanks for joining in tonight. So take care, Troy. So that's the link on screen for this channel if you've not already subscribed. And again, I welcome any questions, any suggestions for the channel. So I've made a start on Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I'll be reviewing that all the way through. I'll be doing some cult film reviews. I'll probably do special top 10 videos, things like that, opinion type videos, and all sorts really. So I'll give this a few more minutes since Troy popped on there, and then I know a couple more people said they might join in, but yeah, give it a few more minutes and then I'll say goodnight for now. All right. Hi, Moo Moo again. I don't know. I guess he was just. I guess the part was he was just a typical high school sort of guy. He was also in the Solo movie, the Star Trek movie, and he was surprisingly Star Wars. Sorry, I keep getting those muddled round. He was surprisingly good in that. Yeah, he wasn't the best thing in that Carey film. I think it sort of depends on the role really he's playing. He was fine in Baby Driver. I think he was believable in that. I think he does have a charisma about him, but he's not the best actor in the world. He doesn't have a lot of range. So I think it depends how he's cast really. Yeah. Edgar Wright's other films. Well, I really enjoy the Cornetto trilogy. Actually, that's something I could review them on this channel. Do a series of videos. Hot Fuzz, I think, is fantastic. I think it's a really great comedy. It's a really good sort of cine literate sort of film. And I think it's made with a lot of affection. You can tell they're really getting across the movies they grew up loving, but they're doing their own thing at the same time. So the Cornetto trilogy, I think Hot Fuzz is probably the best of the three, at least from a comedy point of view. But yeah, Shaun of the Dead is great as well. At the time, it was an original idea, or original take on the zombie genre. They called it like a sort of rom-com, if you like, som-com. So I think that's a very enjoyable and different kind of horror film. I think just for laughs, just for pure comedy, I think Hot Fuzz is maybe better, but in some ways, Shaun of the Dead maybe a bit tighter. It's a bit more. I think Hot Fuzz goes a little off the road at the end, if you like. But yeah, they're both really good. And then obviously the third film, The End of the Road, End of the World. I think World's End. That's it. That was more inconsistent. Yeah. Yeah, it's a pretty strong trilogy. Even the third film, which wasn't as good, is, yeah, pretty good fun, quite relatable. Again, the characters. Not as a job, not at the moment. It's something I would like to do. And I guess in a way I'm lucky to do it on the radio, but yeah, it's something I would like to be paid for. If I could, that would be fun. How about you? Do you have any idea what you would like to do for a career? Anything in film? That's great. Yeah, we need. Unfortunately, I think, yes, I did. I did film studies. Initially at Brighton, I did the degree, and then I did a master's, which was a mix of film and philosophy. That was at King's in London. I think Brighton, the initial degree, is what I really enjoyed. But yeah, it's a good subject. It's very broad when you look at it historically. And there's so many things you can look at, like the race and the politics behind films. And genre's very interesting to look at. So yeah, it's a good thing to study, even though it's very hard to break into the field. So what about trilogies? What other trilogies do you like or you've seen? Yeah, that's fine. Um, the Three Colors trilogy. I recommend the Three Colors trilogy. It's a French trilogy, and the Back to the Future trilogy is a classic, of course. Horror movies, right? Favorite horror film? Well, I always say The Exorcist. I think it's really timeless. I think the story's really great, and there's just something that emotionally grips you every time. It holds up over multiple viewings. Some great direction, some original scares. I think some of the big scenes still stand up to this day. And it's just a profound story, really, of good versus evil. And I think you can buy into it whether you're religious or not. I mean, if you have no religious beliefs, it doesn't matter. You can still buy into that story. And it was tremendously inferential. So, yeah, I always say The Exorcist. What about you? What is your favourite horror film? Yeah. By the way, as I was saying earlier, we will do probably later on when these streams build up. Okay. Good choices. So you've not seen have you seen the third Nightmare on Elm Street? Because that's really good. That's a really good sequel. Okay, yeah, you should watch that. It's really, really good. It's one of those rare things. Yeah, it's one of those rare things. It almost it might even match the sequel, the first one. It might even be a bit better, which is saying something, but it's one of those rare sequels. And it obviously builds on, it's more of a follow on to the first one, if you like. There's consistency. The Nancy character returns for it. And there's some major people involved in that film. It's a really, really good sequel. Whereas the second film feels more like a standalone. It doesn't reference the original very much. So the third one's great. Second one's not too bad. There's some good moments in it. Sort of interesting because of the gay subtext to that film as well, which was kind of the actor's way of coming out, the lead actor, in some ways. I know there's a very good, or meant to be a really good documentary that covers all the films. So, yeah, good picks. Obviously, Freddy's a classic horror character, and the original's excellent. And as I said, I really recommend number 3. And I think it's the 7th one, the one which is the new Nightmare, is really good as well. That's very different. That was kind of what preempted Scream. I think we might have someone else coming. So, do you have any suggestions for things I can review on this channel or anything anywhere else? Any films or any themes you want me to talk about? Okay, I'll put that on the list. That just popped up as I mentioned it, as we both did. Favorite actor? Just give me a minute. I'll be so. Okay, sorry about that. Favourite actor. Well, James Stewart is a classic actor. He was in obviously Vertigo, The Philadelphia Story, was in a few westerns. James Stewart, I think, is really up there. Was a classic of that era. Really versatile. Had a lot of charisma. Yeah, subtle actor. Really good actor, James Stewart. Try and think who else. It's a tough one because obviously I come to films more through the directors. But yeah, current actors, Amy Adams I really like. Maggie Gyllenhaal I think is a great actress. Done some great work on TV as well as on film. Yeah, she's incredible. You should, if you're the right age, you'll have to check the rating. But Secretary is a really great film, really surreal, really stylish, and got some good black comedy. But it's sweet. It turns out to be a sweeter film than you think it's gonna be. And I'm pretty sure 50 Shades ripped it off as well. But Secretary is a great film. And yeah, I think she's very underrated, Maggie Gyllenhaal. Do you have a favourite actor? What about TV? Do you watch much TV? Or any TV shows, any series? Have you got into that kind of thing? Yeah, I still watch a fair bit of TV. Obviously, I have Netflix as well, and there tends to be plenty on there. Pardon, and other streaming services. But yeah, I still watch stuff on TV. Still watch the occasional, like I watched Luther on the BBC recently. Okay, Shameless is one I have to catch up with, but I hear very good things about that. I take it you mean the British Shameless. Okay. Yeah, Anne-Marie Duff, who was on that, very good actress. I actually saw her in a play about 10 years ago in London. She was, yeah, really good. But yeah, she's a great actress. Has gone on to star in quite a few films. How do I find time? Well, one reason might be I'm unemployed at the moment, unfortunately. So, yeah, I have quite a bit of spare time. And it's good really having the Dukes in Lancaster. It's a really good picture house. And not every city has them, so we're quite lucky. So I go to that a lot. It's a really nice atmosphere. And they show a bit of everything really. Independent films. They show more mainstream ones. They show classic films. No, Lancaster, sorry. I know you have a similar place near you in Kendal as well, and it tends to be a bit nicer experience watching films at that sort of venue. So, are you going to go and see Happy Death Day to You on a horror note? Hello, Cookie. Thank you for joining the stream. Moo Moo, this is Cookie. Yes, I take it you saw the first one. So the second one, as a sequel, I think holds up pretty well. Yeah, I really enjoyed the first one. It was a real surprise because when I saw the trailer, I thought, yeah, this looks quite decent, quite enjoyable, but I ended up enjoying it far more than I expected. I like that concept. I think you can do a lot and play around with that sort of structure. And I think the important thing is it was character driven. You know, the lead character was really likable, and the actress really charismatic and funny. And yeah, you had some good twists and what have you. But yeah, I don't. In a way, it's more about the characters and the sort of the idea and the plot than it is about the horror. But yeah, very enjoyable, and I enjoyed the second film a lot. Maybe a bit more messy, the plot, but you know, they did do something a bit different again. Sometimes, you know, I mean, yeah, depends. I mean, I do go to a lot of movies on my own just because, yeah, you know, friends can't always make it, or I don't always have a lot of people around me, near me, you know, in this area. But yeah, I like going to cinema with people, with a friend, you know, and we discuss the film afterwards and before. So, yeah, if you're with the right person, it can be enjoyable. Three people, wow, building up. Yeah. So, Cookie, have you seen any good films recently? Yeah. I mean, you know, a good rant is always a good thing. Always enjoyable. Hi, John. Yeah, that's pretty typical. Yeah, you just well, I saw your message anyway. It's probably just a blurry picture, John, but there you have it. Thank you for dropping in. And if you have any questions, this is sort of a stream to promote my channel. Oh yeah, Cookie. I love that film. Seen that a couple of times. It's really really good. A really good sort of twist on the teen genre in a way. I think amazing visuals. In fact, I just heard the other day they're going to remake it. Yeah, it's brilliant. Yeah, sadly, yeah, Hollywood are going to remake it like they do with a lot of Asian stuff. So I'll be interesting. I'll take a look at the remake, but yeah, the first film is so amazing. I don't know. I'm assuming it will be live action. I don't know much about it, but yeah, it's unlikely it'll match the new film, the older film. I don't know. I don't really know any details about it. Oh, Troy's back. Hello, Troy. How are you? That was a long toilet break. So, will any of you guys be keeping up with the Oscars at the weekend? I might just listen to the radio coverage. That's what I normally do. It's a bit of a pain finding a stream. Yeah, sadly not Moo Moo. They're on Sky Cinema or whatever it is. So yeah, you do need to subscribe to that. You might be able to find a stream online. It's very difficult. Yeah, I think they've had them in the past on BBC. I remember watching one on BBC years ago. It was when Lord of the Rings won for the final film. But that's, yeah, like 15 years ago now, so that's a long time ago. So yeah, it's a shame, but yeah, yeah. Yeah, and the thing is nowadays you can see so many movies online streaming or you can go to the cinema. So it's not really worth paying Sky Movies, you know. Yeah, there's movies elsewhere and I've got a really good DVD collection. So yeah, not going to pay up for Sky Movies, don't really need to. Oh, the Oscars, I better not, because that's obviously illegal. So yeah, it would be taking too much of a risk. Plus, I can't get it because I'm not subscribed. I have Netflix. Oh, the DVD collection. Yeah, I'll see what I can do. Let's see. 1 second. Okay. Yeah, I've watched the odd film on Amazon. Like, if I've just wanted to see a film for my show, I've obviously rented it, and I use them for orders. I tell you what I did get. I'll show you this if you. Bird Box. No, I haven't, not yet, but that's on Netflix. And I quite like the director and also Sandra Bullock, so I've heard mixed things, but I will get to it. Right, okay. So first DVD, I got this for Christmas. Let's hold that up. That is Escape from New York, the John Carpenter cult classic with Kurt Russell. Anyone seen that? But I got the Blu-ray with... Okay, I'll take a look, but Blu-ray of Escape from New York with lots of special features. Got that for Christmas. I've rewatched the film, but I'll be looking at the features. Okay. And also, I thought on the stream one time we could watch a movie together as well and discuss it here. Yeah, cool. Yeah. Yeah, so I would talk here and you can comment on the film and we can watch it at the same time. Yeah, I've got some social media like Facebook and a couple of other platforms. I don't bother with Twitter, it would be a bit of a minefield, but yeah, maybe if someone else does it, that might be one option. But yeah, it's not really something I'm interested in. But yeah, looking to slowly expand. Just a sec. Another DVD, The Exorcist, the classic Exorcist. This is the final sort of version, the version that was released in cinemas, reissued. Really classic film, as I said earlier. It's certainly creepy, Cookie, but that's not a bad thing. It's a horror after all. It's an absolute masterpiece, I think, The Exorcist. And as I said earlier, influenced so many films. Yeah, I want to get the Blu-ray of The Exorcist. That's because I recently got a Blu-ray player. So starting to get more things on Blu-ray. This, yeah, she certainly is. It's a very good performance. This is Heavenly Creatures, which is a Peter Jackson film. Pretty good addition. No. What is the Scary Maze game? I've not heard of this. Sure, I'm down. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I might do it on the live stream one night, probably not. Okay, I'll Google it. Yeah, that's something we can do. We can play games, we can watch films on here. Okay, sounds good. So, I won't do the whole collection because I've got a lot, but this is a really interesting Electric Glide in Blue, really interesting cult film. Sort of like a road movie, neo-noir in a way. And it was directed by a DJ, a music producer. So it was his first ever film, but that's a 70s film. Quite grimy and stylish. But yeah, a cult favourite, one to watch out for. So Cookie, do you have any suggestions for things I can review on this channel? Any TV shows or any movies? Fresh Off the Boat. Yeah, I've heard of it. Is it a new one? Okay. Okay. But like a comedy, I take it. Okay. So this is a Hammer horror classic. Dr. Jekyll and Sister Hyde. So a twist on that classic tale. Again, pretty good addition. Some good features on that. That's one worth checking out. Very sort of camp, very entertaining. Good style to it. So I was saying before, I've done one review of Buffy for this channel. But as I progress and get a bit more confident, I will probably redo that review and add a few bits in and edit certain things. But yeah, I'm planning on doing another review soon. So there's that to look forward to. Oh, we may have one more in a minute. Well, I talk about it here really. I did one review which you can see on this channel, but I plan on reviewing the whole series. I'm actually doing a rewatch at the moment up to season 4, and it's incredibly good and one of the best shows ever. So I'm going to be doing the whole of Buffy on this channel. That's the plan anyway. Should I show you next? So this is a good cult movie. This is Freeway, a very early Reese Witherspoon film. Kiefer Sutherland being appropriately creepy. It's a road movie It's a twist on the Little Red Riding Hood tale. Very twisted with some good black comedy. I really enjoy it a lot. Some good music. And I'll probably review this on the channel as well. This is a real classic. It's from 1996. In fact, I chose it for a secret cinema event which my uni was doing. So Freeway, I highly recommend. So any more questions? Doesn't have to be about films. We can talk about anything really. Up to a point. Any plans for the weekend, any of you? I'm not. I won't do it tonight. Yeah, no, I won't because I'll probably wind this down in a bit. But we can do it another night. That's good. Doing anything with them, Cookie, or just general meetup? I tell you what, I might give it a pilot run on my own, and then if it goes well, I'll do it on air on this channel. Yeah, fair. So, Cookie, do you have a favourite film? Yeah, exactly. It's very late. My mum's sleeping in the other room. But we'll see. I mean, as I said, games we can play on these streams. I can also we can also watch films together. We can discuss films as we're watching them. So earlier I did a mini review of a film called An Evening with Beverly, Luff, Linn, which is an indie comedy on Netflix. So it's on Netflix if you guys want to check it out. It's not too bad. It's probably like a three-star film, I'd say. Worth seeing if you've got Netflix. An Education. Okay. Yeah, it's been a long time since I've seen that. I saw that when it first came out. Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, it was decent. I didn't love it, maybe, but I'll give it a rewatch. Obviously, I really like Carey Mulligan. I think she's really extraordinary. Moo Moo, okay. I have friends, I don't have a girlfriend at the moment. Yeah, she's really great. Yeah, you must see Wildlife, which came out last year. That was really great. What's Jinx? Movie reviewers. Sort of. Not really, but obviously I have other people who are passionate about films and friends. Yeah. Wildlife, it's based on a Richard Ford book. and it's directed by Paul Dano, who's an actor. It's his first film as director. Oh, right, okay, I get you. But yeah, who knows? I might have other people come on the channel. We'll have to see, really. What other employment? What kind of employment? Yeah. Well, I'm thinking of going into teaching later in the year because I've obviously got my degree in film, and I think teaching might be a good way to use that as a trying to teach film studies or media. I think that might be a good logical step. You know, it's obviously a solid paycheck, but it's something I think I would enjoy. It's a new venture in a way, so I can't say for sure. But teaching is something sort of on the radar. Besides that, I just have different ideas just to try and make a little bit of money or get my name out there. So I'm sort of working on a book, considering doing a book, which will be based on what I talk about on my show, really. So trying to get that out there. And I have an idea for like a fanzine and just little things which may be other ways to promote myself. But yeah, I'm thinking of doing a podcast as well at some point. So, Cookie, have you seen Shame, the Kerry Mulligan film with Michael Fassbender? That's a really good film. Steve McQueen, who did 12 Years of Slave. Okay. I mean, knowing you, you'll just say it's weird, but it's a really good film. It's very powerful. Yeah, it's really good. And just a sec. There's the DVD right there. So there you have it. Shame. Kerry Mulligan, Michael Fassbender, right there. So yeah, it's the same director who did 12 Years of Slave, did Hunger. He recently did Widows. Um, you two reading anything good at the moment? Any good novels? I'm reading Sharp Objects by Gillian Flynn. There was a TV series last year with Amy Adams, so I'm reading that mostly. I'm also been reading Misery by Stephen King. Okay. I did Wuthering Heights for my English A level when I went back and got that at college. I think it's a bit of a thing when you feels a bit more like hard work when you do it for a class, but yeah. Oh, that's great. That's great. Yeah, Moo, do you do film studies online as well? Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's fair. So which A levels are you taking? Okay. Okay. So a bit of a mixture. You enjoying that? Cool. So I think on these streams or these one-off videos, I'll do random film reviews. Yeah, I did. Brighton was really great. Really sort of vibrant, liberal sort of town, diverse, lots to do. Sort of an alternative to London, because it's obviously smaller, but there's still a lot there. But it's a bit easier to, yeah, find your way around or get around. So Brighton's a really nice city. I wouldn't mind living back there at some point. Yeah, I still have people based up that way, like friends. So if you have any suggestions for a film I can review on one of these streams, then chip in. As I was saying earlier, it might be more of a cult film, more of a cult horror or something like that next time. Okay, that's one idea. I've not seen Signs, so I can't comment, unfortunately. It's one of the only Shyamalan films I haven't seen. I've seen most of his films. As you probably know, listening to the show, I really enjoyed Glass recently. And obviously that trilogy, Unbreakable, I think is probably his best film thought that was a really interesting, original take on the superhero movie. So I've not seen Signs. I'll look into the Sinister movies. There may be I mean, if I'm going to do a lot of horror reviews, it maybe makes sense to review that sort of thing. So what did you think of Signs? Okay. Yeah, I heard mixed things because obviously Shyamalan started off really well with his first, 2, 3, maybe 4 films. And we all thought, wow, this is going to be a really great director. And then he just went off the deep end for like a decade, just made really awful films for a long time. And then turned things around a bit, with Split and got back on track. So yeah, he's a frustrating director because he can do really good work when he's focused. So yeah, I think Signs is the only one I need to see. Last Airbender I've seen bits of and it just looked so atrocious, really. Just dire. I saw a bit of that over Christmas. He's done a lot actually. I think there's that and maybe one other I need to see, but I'm not going to rush out to see them. But yeah, I'd say Unbreakable is his best film, in my opinion. And Sixth Sense was a really strong debut. I think one of his problems was he just got into this cycle where he just thought every film had to have a twist, because obviously the one in Sixth Sense worked so well. So it was like a twist for the sake of it, rather than because it was justified. And it was like, also, it defeats the purpose of a twist. I mean, if you know a twist is coming at the end of the film, it's not so much of a surprise, So, yeah. I mean, obviously, in Glass, which I won't spoil too much if you've not seen it, but he does go a bit crazy at the end with the twists in a way, but I think it does work quite well overall. There's one particular thing, one particular development and twist which doesn't really work in it, or it's not needed really. It's more to the point. But you know, as I said, I did enjoy Glass. Kind of a bonkers film, but in a way I appreciate. So fingers crossed, maybe he's back on track. Is there any plans for the weekend? Yeah, pretty much the same. No real plans. Might watch a DVD tomorrow. Maybe do a little bit of work on something or other. So will you be listening to the radio show next week, my show? Cool. Good to hear. So next week I will be talking about Star Trek again, the Star Trek films, returning to that in the sci-fi genre. So I'm moving to the sort of next generation type era now with the Patrick Stewart as captain. Be talking about those. Yeah. Yeah, I need to catch up with some of those, and I will be talking about the more recent ones. Have you seen any Star Trek movies? Have you enjoyed any? Okay. Do you mean the first one of the original, like with William Shatner in, or do you mean the first one of the more recent, like reboot? Okay. Yeah, I saw the reboot, the first one, which was yeah, I agree. I enjoyed that. I need to catch up on the others. But yeah, the original movies are worth checking out. Some are better than others. The Voyage Home, which is four, is the best one in my opinion. That's really good fun. And the second one, Wrath of Khan, is excellent. Those are the two best ones, I think. Wrath of Khan is sort of a spin off from one of the TV episodes from the original series. So there are some duds, but yeah, there's some good ones to have. Good to hear. And I'll be reviewing Alita Battle Angel on the show this week. That's one that's worth checking out. Currently on release. I mean, the plot's a bit messy. It's one that was originally going to be directed by James Cameron, and he ended up sort of co-writing the script, and in the end directed by Robert Rodriguez, who's a director I enjoy normally. Done some good stuff. But yeah, it's quite stylish, decent story. It's got a good cast. Yeah, just some moments, some plot moments don't quite add up, but it's a decent watch. It's quite entertaining. So I'll be reviewing that. I'll be reviewing a documentary I saw. about Ingmar Bergman, the director, that focuses on one particular era of his career. That's a really intriguing film. Yeah, I'll have to see what else is on the schedule. I'm not too sure. But this didn't go too bad, this first live stream, so I'll probably schedule another one. Maybe next week, maybe the week after. And we'll see how it goes. That's great. I'll just see. Okay, this is a good one. You seen that? Blood Simple? Coen Brothers film? Was their first film, actually. Okay. You might have to wait a few years. It's an 18, but it's a classic, really. Really good thriller. Really different. It has their oddball, quirky sensibility, but with a gritty sort of thriller as well. Good cast. Frances McDormand's in it, who of course won an Oscar last year. Really haunting music, haunting score as well. So that's a good one to watch out for. Blood Simple. I think it probably got issued a couple of years back. And Blue Velvet, David Lynch film. One of my favourite films ever. Another cult classic. Very surreal, very noir-like. Great music, as every David Lynch film has. Yeah, absolutely. It's a masterpiece. It's sort of timeless. The small little details in it of the set of the town, just really impressive. You get more out of it the more you see it. It's like beautiful but scary at the same time. And yeah, a true original, really. It's pretty much perfect. You get more out of it on each viewing. And yeah, there's just something about him, the way he paints films, the way he makes mundane things scary but also beautiful. And yeah, there's just this out of time feeling to the setting. It feels like it's a certain period, but then on the other hand, it feels kind of unreal. So it's a very different way to present small town life, if you see what I mean. So yeah, that's another classic. It's a bit tough to. I mean, another night maybe I'll swing the shelf around so you can see more, or maybe on the next video I'll show you more. But yeah, thank you for showing up, and I know a few more did. So thank you for listening. Stay tuned to the channel for more content, and we'll do more of this soon. Thank you for popping up and talking. Have a good night. Speak soon. Good night.